do it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast.
All right, I am here today with somebody who can only be described as a Hall of Fame podcasting legend, if I'm not mistaken.
That's it. 2018. They'll let anybody in there.
Do you make people greet you? Do you get airlines to call you that? Is that something you can put in your airline profile?
I'm really bummed. I usually don't, and there's no discount at the grocery store. There's no groupies in podcasting. It's just like, all right, well, the only thing is it's behind me, and it's this little star thing at the top.
Yeah.
I should have that in my bedroom, because if in the event anybody ever broke into my house, like I could kill somebody with that award.
Absolutely.
The top of that thing is very pointy.
Well, Dave, for those who don't know you, which would be almost hard to believe if you're here listening to a podcast episode, how did you get here? Where did you come from? What are you selling? And then people can fast forward 2 minutes and skip the sale and get right to the good stuff.
There you go. Well, I started podcasting in 2005, and what really got me hooked in is I pieces parted one together, and I was doing a podcast for musicians, and a guy in Nuremberg, Germany sent me a voicemail, and I went, wait a minute, hold on. I'm in the middle of Cowtown, Ohio, and this guy's on the other side of the planet. He not only found my podcast, but liked it and sent me a voicemail. And I grabbed my little podcasting flag. I claim podcasting in the name of Dave, and went to town. So back then it was really ugly and awful. And people were like, do I need an iPod to listen to that? And you're like, no, just the internet and speakers. And I've been doing that, launched the the School of Podcasting in 2005. And, over the years, it's gone through different iterations. Paul was on the show, Paul Culligan, and you need an honest friend to say, hey, Dave, here's what people are saying about the School of Podcasting. And I'm like, what? And he goes, the good news is everything you need is there. And he goes, and the bad news is, he goes, everything is there. He goes, you need to streamline some of that stuff. So it was kind of ugly at the beginning. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never had a membership site. It's been fun. I still love the fact that the guy at my old computer teaching gig, I said, we should start teaching podcasting here. And he's like, yeah, it's a fad. And I was like, I still want to find him. Tom Bender, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Ha, I say to you. And over the years, after I'd taught apparently everyone how to do Microsoft Excel and Word, that gig kind of dried up. And so I was walking to my car after being let go, and I called Rob Walsh from Libsyn because I'd known him. I'd done a podcast with him, and I said, I have good news and bad news. And he's like, oh, I'll play. What's the bad news? I go, I just lost my job. And he said, oh, what's the good news? I said, I'm available to work for you. And luckily enough, they hired me. I was at Libsyn for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so along the way, I got hired at a college before Libsyn. I got to be a professor, but it was some rinky-dink college in Cleveland that didn't last long. But I got that gig because they said, what do you do in your free time? And I said, I play the guitar, I ride my bike, and I podcast. And they went, you podcast? Because again, back in 2008, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, along the ways, now I'm at PodPage, which is a website building tool for podcasters. You basically throw in your RSS feed, and we spit out a great looking website. And my favorite thing, we interviewed one of our customers last week, and they said, we're asking them, like, what do you do when you log into PodPage? And he goes, fellas, I haven't logged into PodPage in about, I don't know, probably 6 weeks. He goes, you guys kind of do everything for me. And we're like, that's a good answer. So It's been fun. And along the way, I have the School of Podcasting, which teaches people how to plan, launch, and grow your podcast. I did get a book deal along the way. So if you want to learn how to monetize your show, check out Profit From Your Podcast, available at profitfromyourpodcast.com. And I think that's all the pitching and history really you need. It's been fun. The Hall of Fame thing is still kind of and it's funny because for the longest time I didn't really bring it up. And I had a business coach, and he goes, why aren't you saying that you're in the Hall of Fame? And I'm going, I don't know. You know how that goes. You're like self-promotion. And he goes, how many people can say that? And I go, at the time, I think there were 15. And he's like, yeah, say it every time you open up your mouth. So yeah, that was a fun time.
Even talking about self-promotion, right?
Yeah.
Which, and self-promotion is different than promotion. There's a lot of, everything you hit on is correct, right? Like some people do, but generally speaking, there are reasons you might not want to beat your own chest.
I had a friend of mine, I'd known her for about 6 months, and she's like, can you help me launch a podcast? So I help her launch her podcast. Another 3 months in, I've listened to most of her episodes, And I'm like, how's the podcast going? She's like, actually, it's going really good. Numbers are going up. And she goes, but I'm not getting any speaking gigs out of it. And I go, speaking gigs? I go, I haven't known you that long. I'm like, I didn't know you were a speaker. And she's like, oh yeah, I speak to kids all the time. I just spoke in Brooklyn to a bunch of high school kids. And I go, that's really weird. I said, because I know you in person. And I said, I've listened to all your episodes. I've never heard you mention anything about speaking. And she went, of course, I kind of feel salesy. And I go, salesy, great. I go, like a used car salesman? And she goes, exactly. And I go, because that guy's selling you a bucket of bolts that might make it off the lot. And she goes, I know, it's like a guy from the 70s. And I go, exactly. And I go, so you're saying your podcast is a bucket of bolts? And she goes, no, I spent like 10 hours on that thing. And I go, so you're helping people? And she goes, yeah. She goes, that's the whole goal. And I go, so why are you stopping yourself from helping people? And she went, okay, you're good. And I go, but seriously, I go, you ready to promote your speaking gig? And she goes, yeah. And I go, start off the next episode. I was talking to a bunch of high school kids in the Bronx, and this one young man came up and asked me this question. And I thought, man, that'd be a great topic for the podcast. I go, done. Yeah. I go, your audience now knows, make sure you have a contact page on your website. Don't make them track you down on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever. Have a contact page. You know, I said, but it doesn't have to be this Sunday kind of thing. Just let people know what you do. Yeah. And she did, and she speaks all the time now. But it's that weird, you know, would anybody really want to listen to me kind of thing or whatever? And you know, just drop it in there. People are listening. They'll pick it up.
And there's something in there too about like when you start a podcast, it's helpful to know what your goal is.
Oh,
right.
There's two things. You have to know crystal clear who is my audience. Because if you don't entertain or educate that person, they're gone. Yeah. And you have to know your why. And your why could be, I want more clients. I want to be seen as a thought leader. I know people that just do a podcast as a diary. And they just I just want to get it out into the world. I'm like, okay, whatever your reason is, you need to know your why. Because if you don't get your why, you're going to burn out. You're like, well, I'm doing this thing. I'm not getting anything in return. And the hard part then is, what can I talk about that's going to educate or entertain the who while moving them towards my why? And that's the part that's kind of tricky and takes some thought into it. A podcast is a conversation, but if you think about it, it's really a conversation with the boring parts removed, because there are book editors and magazine editors and, you know, movie, TV, they all have editors, and everybody thinks that what you're hearing is unedited. And maybe in the case of Joe Rogan, it's not, but I still think there are parts that probably are on the editing floor. But yeah, it's not just a conversation. It's a conversation with the boring parts removed.
Last question. This is the important question.
Oh boy.
Desert island. Battery-powered generator, solar, battery something. Only enough juice and only enough satellite internet service to download one podcast to listen to on the desert island. Every day. Or as frequently as it comes out.
So it's a new episode? Oh, hands down, No Agenda Show with Adam Curry and John C. Dvorak. There's one.
There you go.
Information you can't get anyplace else.
Yep.
Delivered in an entertaining way. A lot of sound effects in that show. But it makes you laugh, and it makes you think. A lot of thinking in there that you're like, wait, they're doing what? Because they have a very global audience. And when you get news about the U.S. outside of the U.S., it's completely different.
Yeah.
So they try to stay neutral. They're a little right-leaning, but they've been a little left-leaning in the past. So they try to they report on the news. That's the one that when it comes out on Thursdays and Sundays, like that's the one I go, ooh, is it available yet? So it's a fun show.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll leave it there with that recommendation. Dave Jackson, thank you so much for your time. This was illuminating as expected, and I hope you had a great time too.
Oh, always, Matt. Thanks so much, man.
Cheers.
Another round, so much more to talk about. Gonna aim to satisfy with help from CacheFly. Get to it fast. Right here on the Anycast. Make it strong, make it last. Right here on the Anycast. The Anycast podcast, brought to you by CacheFly.